You believe in democracy, of course you do. It's the American brand, the shining city, the government of the people, and yet you don't vote. Or you vote but don't follow up. Or you follow up but don't follow up. Or you follow up but don't volunteer. Or you volunteer but don't run. Feeling powerless and cynical and convinced the system is rigged. Your voice a drop in an ocean of dark money and gerrymandered districts. And here's the paradox that will make you want to tear down every flag and start over. The more Americans claim to love democracy, the less they actually participate in it, ranking near the bottom of developed nations. In turnout and trust and belief that ordinary people can influence government, saying we want self-rule while handing the reins to whoever spends the most on attack ads, worshipping the founders while ignoring every tool they gave us, the data and national shame barely half of us showing up for. Presidential elections, a third for midterms. Trust in Washington below 20%, and yet over 90% say democracy is the best system. So we love the idea, we just don't want to do the work. And the neuroscience is a tragedy of the commons because your brain's reward system is wired for immediate visible impact, and voting feels like throwing a message in a bottle into an indifferent ocean with a dopamine hit so tiny, while posting a meme or watching outrage gives a bigger jolt, so the system rewards performance over participation, shouting over showing up, and you perform. Democracy, instead of practicing it, feeling righteous while nothing changes, and the American twist is we've turned it into a spectator sport, watching debates like the Super Bowl and following polls like fantasy football, professionalizing politics and amateurizing citizenship, hiring consultants and lobbyists, and then complaining the professionals don't care about us when we fired ourselves from the only job that could have made a difference, being citizens. But here's the quiet reversal that only fully lands when you stop scrolling long enough to feel the local ground beneath your feet. The only Americans who actually experience democracy working are the ones who participate at the local level, city council meetings, school board elections, zoning, hearings, library funding, park cleanups. The people who show up to a high school gym on a Tuesday night to argue about a stop sign, who get to see their voice matter even when they lose, who realize democracy is not a television show but a potluck where you bring a dish and talk to neighbors and vote on dessert and clean up afterward, boring and slow and unglamorous and working better than anything on your screen. Let me tell you about Linda. Furious about politics and posting daily and arguing with relatives and signing every petition and donating to national campaigns, and nothing changed, a ghost screaming into a void, until her local library threatened to close and she showed up to a city council meeting. For the first time, spoke for 3 minutes. The council members actually listened. She organized neighbors, they packed the next meeting and the library stayed open, and she said, "I spent 10 years yelling at the national news and got nowhere. I spent 10 weeks at the local level and saved the library. Now I'm on the zoning board and I hate zoning, but I get to see things happen." And she still cares about national politics, but no longer confuses caring with doing. The American cognitive paradox sits right here. We have the most powerful democracy in history and have become the most passive citizens in the democratic world, demanding Washington fix everything while refusing to fix our own block. And the only escape is to stop watching and start doing. Understanding that democracy is not something you consume, but something you practice. A verb, not a noun, and the verb is boring attending, listening, compromising, losing sometimes, winning rarely, and showing up again anyway. The actual price of freedom, not higher than we can pay, just lower than we expected. Right now your brain might want to argue the system is broken and local politics is too small, and you're not wrong, but broken systems are fixed by people who show up, not by those who stay home and complain, because every local official who listens started as a volunteer, and every policy that helped started as a conversation between neighbors. The national stage a circus, and the local stage a classroom. The question from the beginning, why do we love democracy yet refuse to do the work, has an answer that a second viewing fully unpacks. We were sold a fantasy of democracy without the homework, and the homework is boring, but boring is where the power is. So if something just stirred, if the impulse sparked to send this to someone who posts about politics but has never been to a city council meeting, that's not about me. It's the recognition that their feed is not activism but theater, and sharing that might be the first real democratic act you've taken in years. Now go find a local meeting and just sit in the back. That's an order.